It's time for Access the Experts from the University of Nebraska at Omaha with your host, Brandon Axamit.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Access the Experts on News Channel Nebraska, where every Tuesday and Thursday, the University of Nebraska at Omaha faculty members answer today's questions facing our state. Today we have the pleasure of hearing from Dr. Dario Ghersi, who is an associate professor of biomedical informatics at UNO. So Dr. Ghersi, today's question is, how do the police use ancestry DNA databases to solve crimes?
Thank you, Brandon, for that question. I'm happy to talk to you about how police solve crime using ancestry databases. Now, we need to start at the beginning to really understand how this works, and that beginning is DNA. DNA is the genetic blueprint for who we are, and it is found in almost every cell of the body. No two individuals share the same DNA molecule, but close relatives will have very similar DNA. So the closer the blood relation between individuals, the more similar the DNA molecules will be. Now, with modern technology today, we can convert that molecule, that DNA molecule, into a string of letters. And this string is about 3 billion letters long. And as you can imagine, once you have that, you can store it in a computer, you can analyze it and process it and extract all kinds of useful information. Over the last few years, we have seen more and more companies that sell ancestry kits to customers. And what you can do with an ancestry kit is find out more about where your ancestors came from, where they migrated from. Or you could find distant relatives that you didn't even know you had. So these companies provide these kinds of services and more to customers. And all they have to do, the customers, is send a saliva sample to them and some information like address, name, and so on. And then they receive access to that information through a web portal usually. Now, what's the connection with crime and police and all that? Well, as we know from either experience or movies or reading about it, when police get to a crime scene, they look for evidence, for something that can help them identify the possible perpetrator of that crime. One of the things they can find is biological material, blood, hair, skin under the fingernails of a victim, anything. That biological material, from that they extract DNA, they amplify that DNA, they convert that DNA into letters, like those companies do, and then once you have that information, you can search against the database. And what the police is looking for is a statistically significant match, something that links that DNA that was found at the crime scene with someone in the database, in the ancestry database. Now, more likely than not, that someone is not going to be the suspect directly, but perhaps a family member, a relative, either a close relative or maybe a second-degree cousin or someone like that. And now, all of a sudden, they go from having no idea about the possible perpetrator of the crime to having maybe a list of possible last names or relatives or geographical location of the family. So that's extremely valuable to them. I should say that these companies usually do not voluntarily cooperate with law enforcement, but they can be forced to grant access to their databases through court orders or similar measures. So not only is this a very interesting scientific problem, it has also very interesting ethical and legal ramifications.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ghersi, for sharing your expertise on the topic. For our viewers at home, we want you to interact with UNO's experts. So if you have a question you want answered, be sure to submit it at newschannelnebraska.com.
Access the Experts, presented by the University of Nebraska at Omaha. If you have questions, submit them on our website. Then join us every Tuesday and Thursdays at 6:46 a.m. and p.m. while we answer your questions.